The legend of the Minotaur is one of the most enduring and intriguing stories of ancient Greek mythology. It is a tale that blends myth, symbolism, political power, and human psychology, revealing far more than the image of a monster hidden in a maze. At its core, the story of the Minotaur is not simply about fear or danger, but about consequence, responsibility, and the complex relationship between civilization and chaos. To understand the Minotaur, we must first look to the island of Crete, one of the most powerful centers of the ancient Greek world. Long before Athens rose to prominence, Crete was ruled by King Minos, a legendary lawgiver and ruler whose authority extended across the seas. Minos was known not only for his strength, but also for his claim to divine approval. According to myth, he sought confirmation of his right to rule by asking the god Poseidon to send him a sign. Poseidon answered by sending a magnificent white bull from the sea, a creature of extraordinary beauty and presence. Minos was expected to honor the god by returning the bull as an offering. However, captivated by the animal's perfection, he chose to keep it for himself and offered another in its place. This decision, seemingly small, marked the beginning of a chain of events that would shape the legend forever. In Greek mythology, such acts of pride and disobedience rarely went unnoticed. The gods were seen as guardians of balance, and when that balance was disturbed, consequences followed. As a result of Minos' decision, Poseidon allowed a curse to unfold within Minos' household, not through destruction, but through transformation. Queen Pasiphae, Minos' wife, became entwined in this unfolding fate. Ancient sources describe her experience not as a moral failing, but as a divine influence beyond human control. Seeking to understand and resolve the situation, she turned to Daedalus, the most brilliant inventor and craftsman of the age. Daedalus was renowned for his intelligence, creativity, and ability to solve problems no one else could. Through Daedalus's ingenuity, events progressed toward an outcome that would later be remembered as monstrous. From this union emerged a being unlike any other, the Minotaur. Its name itself reveals its nature, Minos' bull. The Minotaur was not portrayed as evil by birth, but as a being caught between worlds, neither fully human nor fully animal, existing as the result of divine will and human error. Faced with a creature that challenged order and understanding, King Minos once again turned to Daedalus. This time, he asked for a solution that would contain what could not be undone. Daedalus designed the labyrinth, a structure so complex that no one who entered could find their way out without guidance. Unlike a simple maze, the labyrinth was a marvel of engineering, symbolizing the complexity of power, secrecy, and control. The Minotaur was placed within this vast structure, not as an act of cruelty, but as an attempt to preserve stability within the kingdom. In many interpretations, the labyrinth represents the human mind, political systems, or societies themselves. Intricate, ordered on the surface, yet capable of concealing unresolved consequences deep within. Over time, the legend expanded beyond Crete. Athens, a rising power, became linked to the story through a tragic obligation. According to myth, after a conflict between Crete and Athens, the Athenians were required to send a group of young people to Crete at regular intervals. This tribute symbolized submission, loss, and the cost of political imbalance in the ancient world. These individuals were sent into the labyrinth, not as punishment for personal wrongdoing, but as representatives of a larger conflict. In this way, the story reflects how ordinary people often bear the consequences of decisions made by rulers and states. The Minotaur, meanwhile, remained hidden, known more through fear and rumor than through direct experience. The story takes a turning point with the arrival of Theseus, the legendary hero of Athens. Unlike earlier figures, Theseus did not arrive driven solely by duty or fear. He came with purpose to confront the source of suffering and bring an end to the cycle. His journey represents a shift from submission to agency, from inherited conflict to chosen responsibility. Upon arriving in Crete, Theseus encountered Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos. Ariadne is often overlooked, yet she plays a crucial role in the story. Her actions reflect empathy, intelligence, and quiet courage. Rather than relying on force, she offered Theseus a simple but powerful tool, guidance. Ariadne's thread, often called the clue, was not a weapon. It was a symbol of foresight, planning, and understanding. With it, Theseus could navigate the labyrinth, ensuring not only that he could enter, but that he could return. This detail highlights a key theme of Greek mythology. Wisdom often succeeds where strength alone cannot. The encounter between Theseus and the Minotaur is described briefly in most ancient sources. There is no emphasis on spectacle. Instead, the focus is on resolution. The Minotaur's story ends not with triumph, but with closure. The cycle that began with pride and imbalance is brought to an end through courage, guided by insight. Afterward, Theseus retraced his steps using Ariadne's thread, demonstrating that survival and success depend not only on entering difficult spaces, but on understanding how to leave them. This moment reinforces the idea that confronting hidden problems requires preparation, support, and clarity. The aftermath of the legend continues to reflect human complexity. Ariadne's fate, Minos' grief, and Daedalus' eventual exile all remind us that even solutions come with consequences. Greek myths rarely offer simple endings. Instead, they mirror the layered nature of real life. From a historical perspective, the Minotaur legend may reflect real cultural memories. Archaeological discoveries on Crete reveal the advanced Minoan civilization, with large palace complexes such as Knossos. These structures, with their winding corridors and symbolic art featuring bulls, may have inspired later generations to imagine the labyrinth and its inhabitant. The bull itself held deep symbolic meaning in ancient Mediterranean cultures. It represented strength, fertility, authority, and the power of nature. By combining human and bull imagery, the Minotaur embodies the tension between rational order and primal instinct, a theme that remains relevant across time. The labyrinth too extends beyond myth. It has become a universal symbol of complexity, introspection, and inner struggle. Even today, the word is used to describe systems that are difficult to navigate, whether psychological, political, or social. The legend of the Minotaur endures because it speaks to fundamental human experiences. It reminds us that unresolved actions can create lasting consequences. That power must be balanced with responsibility, and that understanding is often more effective than force. Rather than viewing the Minotaur solely as a monster, modern interpretations invite us to see it as a reflection of hidden truths, aspects of society or ourselves that we prefer not to confront. The hero's journey, then, is not just external, but internal. In the end, the story of the Minotaur is not about fear. It is about awareness. It teaches that true resolution comes from facing complexity with wisdom, courage, and compassion. It is a myth that continues to resonate because it reflects the timeless challenge of bringing light into places shaped by secrecy and imbalance. The legend remains a powerful reminder that even the most intricate labyrinths can be navigated, not by strength alone, but by insight, guidance, and the willingness to understand what lies within. If you enjoyed this deep exploration of Greek mythology, consider subscribing for more stories that uncover the meaning, history, and symbolism behind the legends of the ancient world. Let me know which myth you would like to explore next, and thank you for joining me on this journey through one of history's most fascinating tales.